as you may recall, when I reviewed Gaming Greats Iron Man, I thought he was alright. I mean, he's just another Iron Man figure. He's another red and gold Iron Man. He's cool. He serves his purpose. I like him. But then when I reviewed Star Boost, I loved it. Just the slight differences made the mold one of my favorite Iron Man figures, and I couldn't say enough nice things about it. But then they had to go and make it my favorite color, and they had to go and give it what is, in my opinion, the best head sculpt in all of Marvel Legends. Yeah, here we are with Atmosphere Armor Iron Man. And the review is mostly going to be about that head sculpt, because, oh my gosh, I love it. So, here we have the first game. Did I call it Gaming Greats? It's Gamerverse. Jeez, I can't keep up with all this gaming. But yeah, the first Gamerverse Iron Man was good. Not the best, but it was good. Star Boost, I loved it, but then they made it blue. They made it shiny blue, and I love it. Let's just put the head sculpt off to the side here. Let's just pop this off, and let's just talk about the Iron Man. So, one negative thing about this figure is that he does not come with any effect pieces. Oh well, if you have as many Iron Man figures as I do, you have effect pieces for days. But he does come with his alternate hands. He does come with the repulsor hands, and he does come with the fist hands. And yeah, look at him. He is gorgeous. God, I love that color. I think this is just an alternate skin from the Avengers game for the Star Boost armor. I think it's just like an alternate paint job skin you can get. I know I have seen that budget figure, like the $10, $15 figure. I've seen that. But I'm so happy they made a Marvel Legend, because this thing is just amazing looking. We've already seen the sculpt before, but the blue, man, that blue. It is just blue plastic, but it doesn't have a lot of the swirlies. And look at that shininess. Oh my gosh. And the silver paint. And they did paint the black mouth on this one. They did not do that with Star Boost. I did do that on that. But they did do it with this one. Just look at that detail. Oh my gosh. I'm in love with this thing. Obviously, I like this even more than Star Boost, and I already loved Star Boost. So that tells you something. But then again, I'm very biased. Blue's my favorite color, and this kind of shiny blue just speaks to me on a level I cannot describe. So yeah, we've gotten 3 Iron Man figures for the new Avengers game, and I love 2 of them. I really like the other one. Believe me, I still really like this. But just the difference, the uniqueness is why I love it. The bulkiness. I am there for it. I am here, I am there, I am everywhere for it. Let's go over the articulation real quick again, just because. It's really good. It's really good articulation. So the head can move up, can move down. Shoulders move out pretty decently, given the armor. He's got really nice elbows. He's got the wrists that can do the things you need them to do. He's got the ab crunch, the waist swivel. His legs work as you would believe. Nice knees. But unfortunately, like a lot of Iron Man figures with a lot of bulky ankle armor, you don't get too much pivot out of those ankles. I mean, you get a little bit, but you get enough for like a slightly dynamic pose, but you're not getting him in a crazy pose. And unfortunately, like many Marvel Legends Iron Man figures, you can't really get him in a convincing ground pound. The hip range and the abdomen range is just not there for that. But in the head range, like you kind of need like a double ball peg for that instead of just a hinge and swivel. But you know, it's all right. So that's the figure in itself. It did come with a Joe Fix-It bath part. I've already given that away. I've already given that to my brother's girlfriend, who I don't know if she's going to build it. She'll probably build it. But either way, she's got the part in case she wants to build it. Because she's way more into Marvel Legends than I am. I'm just here for Iron Man, pretty much. But this head sculpt. Let's talk about this head sculpt. So this is inspired by the likeness of Tony Stark from the video game. And it uses face printing technology. Yes, it does indeed look like it does look like a sideshow head you would have seen like 10 years ago. And that, I say that as a compliment, because look at how far this detail and this technology has come in the 6-inch $20 action figure market. Like, this is on par with a sideshow from 10 years ago. And those figures were $100 10 years ago. And this just looks amazing. Look at the eyes, look at the lips especially. Those lips are amazing. This is scary good. I I love it. And it doesn't have to work off of like an actor's likeness. It just has to look like Tony Stark. And it looks exactly like what anyone thinks of when they think Tony Stark. So let's try it on some figures. Actually, first, before we do that, I'm so scatterbrained in these videos. I'm so sorry. I can't make up my mind on what I want to do first or not. Let's compare it to some other Tony heads. So here's the beautiful Tony head compared to the, oh dear, the Invincible Iron Man Tony head. So yeah, same price for these figures. It's just one has the gorgeous face printing and the other's just like a comic book. But then I want to compare it to what I consider to be the best comic book Marvel Legends head, the 50th Iron Man. And while this still looks really great, the face printing on this makes it look so realistic. Now, I do agree, comic Marvel Legends should probably not have the face printing. This looks like a comic book. But this just looks so good in general. I love it. Both of these heads are gorgeous for different reasons, but this one is by far my absolute favorite. It's by far my absolute favorite Marvel Legends head sculpt to date. Is it one of the best? I can definitely say it's one of the best. Is it the absolute best? I'm going to take a biased assessment on that and say yes. I think it's the best. But I can totally see where you would disagree with that. There's other super amazing heads out there. But in my personal belief, in my opinion, in my realm of collecting, this is my favorite and what I view as the best Marvel Legends head sculpt. So yeah, looking at it on Atmosphere Armor Iron Man, it looks gorgeous. It looks great. It looks really good. But I do have to say a big part of that is because of the tall shoulder armor. Without that, it's a different story. So let's try it on the original Gamerverse Iron Man without that bulky shoulder armor. Exact same figure, exact same kind of proportion and everything. And that neck is way too long. Oh man, so close to greatness, but unfortunately, the neck on this figure is just way too long. And honestly, the neck size on the other ones is the same length. It's proportionally the same. The difference lies in that shoulder armor. And let's show this head on the Star Boost. And you can definitely see it's, like, you can still see that long neck, but that shoulder armor totally disguises it. I mean, that looks, like I said, that looks amazing. That looks so good. And then I want to pop this bad boy on some different Hasbro Iron Man figures. Pretty much the ones that came with those other heads. I want to just see how they fit. This one, I would say that works really good. I think that proportionally works for someone in a suit of armor. Sure, the figure is skinny, but I think that works. I seriously think that works. I think that's a good head on that body. I think that one works. Because honestly, Tony's head shouldn't be very high up. Like, let's look at the actual intended head on this body. Wow, that is not going on easy. Yeah, you can see the neck's a little high up, but it's pretty much the same as the other one. That's all right. So yeah, I would say the Invincible mold works great with this new head. There's some figures that I'm kind of scared to pop the head off, so you're not going to see like the... Well, I tried popping the head off the Extremis figure one time and it broke, so I had to buy a new one. But there's others where you just... Like, why would you need to see that? I'm not going to show it on any MCU armors either, because I don't believe in that. It has to be Robert Downey Jr. So, let's look at the bleeding edge. Oh no. That doesn't work one bit. He's got a hunchback. That's unfortunate. I mean, you could always modify it if you really want this head. Like, honestly, without popping it on, that looks good. Like, I think if you don't pop it on at all, that looks really good. But popping it on, it's way too inset. So yeah, it doesn't really work on the bleeding edge / the Guardians of the Galaxy mold. That's alright. But how does it work on the new classic comic body with the 50th figure? So let's get that popped off. And let's see. First up, the original head. Oh my gosh, this is the head intended for it. Why won't it go on? There we go. So yeah, there it is with the original head. And let's get that off. It's not that hard, I'm just trying to be careful with it. So let's get this head on. And I'd say that works. A little low, but like I said, he's wearing armor. It should sit kind of low. And I think that works. If you're okay with having a more fully bearded Tony on your classic Iron Man body, that works. But honestly, the head this figure came with is so good, I wouldn't really see the reason to need to do that. But I'm just saying you can if you want. You can do that if you want. So, there we go. That is our Atmosphere Armor Iron Man. Really, really amazing figure. I still love the mold. I already went over a lot of the nuances of the mold in my Star Boost video. But this one, this release, even if you just want to sell off the Iron Man because you're not a big Iron Man collector like I am, this release is worth it for this head sculpt alone, in my opinion. This is a gorgeous head, and wow. this head, this freaking head, dude, is stunning. I love it. He has printed wrinkles on his forehead. Did you see that? Look at that. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Can I even go and say that this is Hasbro's best head, period? Seriously. In my opinion. It's definitely my favorite head Hasbro's ever made. Definitely my favorite. But can I say best? It's definitely one of the best. This head is amazing. I mean, wow. And honestly, a lot of these face print heads, they have like this really glossy look to the skin, or they just kind of like, you can really see the pixels. This skin looks so natural. And the pixels, like even up this close, are not that noticeable. Whoever designed that print, they're going places. I'm just saying that they're going places. And I want whoever designed this head to design all of the heads. All of them. Because this head is stunning. I think I've gushed over this head long enough. Definitely, this might take the cake for my favorite Iron Man figure of 2020. We've had so many good Iron Man figures. We had Silver Centurion, we had War Machine, we had the other two back there. We've had some great Iron Man figures this year, but I think this one's going to take the cake. This guy is definitely 100% going to be on my top 10 figures of the year video at the end of the year. For sure, 100%. This guy will be on the list. Alrighty guys, I'll see you in the next video. Adios.